Hello and welcome, Judge Buford.
Thank
I
you.
am honored and humbled today as a member of CBA's D.I.C.E Committee, which stands for the Diversity, Inclusion, Culture, Equity, and Engagement Committee, to interview Judge Andrea M. Buford for the Chicago Bar Association's Women's Archives Project. I'd like to share just a small vignette of Judge Buford's background, but I invite you to look at the CBA website, which will have her complete bio. Judge Buford completed her undergraduate studies at Northwestern University and received her law degree from IIT Chicago-Kent College of Law. Judge Buford was appointed to the bench by the Illinois Supreme Court in April 2013 and subsequently ran to retain her seat and won the 2014 general election. Currently, Judge Buford is assigned to the Child Protection Division of the Circuit Court of Cook County, where she presides over cases involving abuse and neglect allegations. Judge Buford also serves on numerous appointed leadership positions, including chair of the Special Supreme Court Committee on Juvenile Courts, and also serves on the Supreme Court Committee on Equality, as well as the Supreme Court Committee on Professional Responsibility. Prior to being elected as a judge, Judge Buford was a renowned civil litigator, being admitted to the practice of law before all Illinois state courts, federal courts, including the United States Supreme Court. I want to personally highlight that Judge Buford was a partner in one of Chicago's previous largest minority-owned firms and ultimately formed her own firm with partners and associates, defending primarily corporations and municipalities, which was a major accomplishment for an African-American woman. Notably, Judge Buford has also served as president of the Cook County Bar Association, which is the oldest bar association of African-American lawyers in the country. She was also a founder of the Cook County Bar Foundation, which is the charitable arm of the association. Judge Buford has also received innumerable awards, but I'm just going to highlight a few. The Meritorious Service Richard G. Westbrook Judicial Award, the Presidential Award from the Cook County Bar Association, and the Vanguard Award from our own Chicago Bar Association. What a success story. Today, Judge Buford, I want to thank you again for just coming and taking time out of your busy schedule with the juvenile courts and providing your insights to help current and future women lawyers who will review the Archives Project and understand your route to success. So with that, I'd like to go ahead and get started with our interview and get your comments on a couple of issues. So the first thing I want to start out with is legacy. Now, legacy is something that's a part of your history that you want people to project and just remember about your life and your work. And many young lawyers don't know your full portfolio. I tried to review just some of it, but I mean, it's a really full portfolio. And so this project is to help kind of retain and record so that your voice and legacy will remain. So with that background information, what would you like to leave as your legacy as a judge with the Illinois Circuit Court of Cook County?
I don't think I need to say anything else. You did a wonderful job of introducing me. Thank you. I did. When I campaigned on the issue that I would be a judge who would listen to people who were in front of me, listen to the litigants as well as their lawyers. I believe that a judge should be fully prepared. I remember as a young lawyer going into court, you spend hours billing a client, hours to prepare a brief, and you would go before the judge and it's like, did he even read it? Sometimes they didn't even read it. I always make sure that I read a brief. If you take the time to write it, I'm going to read it and I'm going to be fully prepared to rule. I want you to know that I understand your issues. I also want you to come away from the bench, win or lose, thinking that at least she heard me, she was fair, even if I don't agree with her, she was fair. So that to me is a legacy that I want to leave as a judge.
That is an excellent legacy, and people coming before the court want to feel like they had a fair opportunity. So thank you for that. I'd like to next turn to just the concept of leadership. And as I highlighted, you have been and are a leader. You're a leader, you're an example to so many lawyers, to so many judges, having been a partner in a firm, having owned your own firm, having been the president of a bar association, president of the Illinois Judges Association. It seems like in every area where you are, you become the top, you become the leader. That's what you do, and that's your goal, and it's just wonderful. But what do you think are the most important attributes that are required for a leader in the law?
I think people have to believe in you. You have to have a lot of confidence in who you are and what you do. One other slight correction, not the Illinois Judges Association, but the Illinois Judicial Council, which is the largest association of predominantly African-American judges in the state of Illinois. As a young partner in a litigation defense firm, you have to fight. And you have to learn how to become a leader. Again, you have to be confident in who you are and what you do. I just think confidence is the most important thing in a leader because people want to believe in you or they won't follow you. I was the president of the Cook County Bar Association, the Illinois Judicial Council, Cook County Bar Association Reimagined Foundation. I was only the 7th female president of the Cook County Bar Association, an organization that is over 100 years old. And I was only its 7th female president. That takes a lot. And I was quite young, as a matter of fact, when I served as the president. But again, I think it's all in your ability to exude confidence in who you are and what you can do.
Thank you.
Thing is that I think it's important if you're going to be a leader that you work your way up through the ranks. You have to understand the philosophy of an organization or an office or whatever it is that you're going to lead. You have to understand what's going on internally in that organization. So if you want to be the president, don't jump in and run for president day one. Work on committees, head committees, serve on the board, serve in other positions, and then become the president, because then people will believe in your abilities.
Thank you for highlighting the importance of just being really a team player and working your way up the ranks. And doing that, you may inspire confidence, and then people will maybe make you the leader. They certainly have made you the leader of many organizations, so thank you for that. The next issue I want to turn to, which is very important for women, for all lawyers, but basically this issue of inclusivity, especially when you think of, African-American lawyers and lawyers of color. And so your career is one where clearly you've been an advocate for lawyers, all people, Black lawyers, women lawyers, to be fully represented in the practice as well as on the bench. Making sure that there is a diverse bench. So what do you advise lawyers and others in the profession that they should do to further foster authenticity in this concept of diversity and inclusion?
Well, first of all, I believe that I'm a strong advocate in mentoring young lawyers. I tell all young lawyers, please join a bar association, any bar association, but join one. But you should also join an affinity bar association, because those are the people who are most in line with, should be at least, most in line with what your beliefs are. But bar associations, I believe, are extremely important, especially in law, because I met a lot of people as a member of the bar association. They became my mentors. They assisted me in my rise. Not to the top, I wish, but they assisted me in doing what I do now. People need to see, young lawyers need to see people who look like them. It gives you a sense of confidence. It's unconscious in the head, but it makes you feel more confident in what you're doing. Again, as a young lawyer, I can remember going in front of judges all the time, every day, and none of them hardly, maybe two that I remember looked like me. And that was it. And when you see someone up there that looks like you think, oh, I can do that too. More confident, I can do that. I remember the one judge, Nicholson, who looked like me. She had a Black law clerk. I remember going to court with my son, who was very young at the time. And it was just amazing that he happened to come in on the day when the judge was a Black woman, her clerk was a Black woman, I was a Black woman. Of course, that was it. But those were the important people, me and the judge in the courtroom. And it was a nice feeling. And I think that young lawyers need to see that when they're practicing.
Thank you. So as we conclude our time together, I'd like to just kind of open up the floor, Judge Buford, and allow you to speak generally to the future women lawyers, the current women lawyers, for any insights that you would like to give them in terms of just your routes to success, what it means to practice on the bench, just any comments you'd like to give to our audience.
Again, I believe it's very important, first off, to join a bar association. Those are people who are going to be just like you. And they will help you. They will mentor you. If you're the only Black in a firm, you're not going to find a really good mentor. You're going to have to look outside the firm, I believe, to find a good mentor who's going to help you and bring you along the way. It's just the way life is, I believe. Other things that I think young lawyers need to watch out for is to, when you graduate from law school, just like when you graduate from undergraduate school, most people don't know what they want to do. The law is a big area. Do you want to do litigation? Do you want to be a real estate lawyer? Do you want to practice criminal, civil? There's so many things out there. So I think when you first come out, again, you need to meet judges. You need to try and get as much experience as you can. There's a theory that you cannot become a judge, or you might not be able to become a judge. You might not get a good bar review if you've only practiced in one area of the law. But quite frankly, I don't believe in that, because if you're practicing everything, you're not good at anything. You have to focus your practice on something that, first off, something that you like doing. And secondly, so that you become really good at it, because that's what your area of the law is. So I remember going in front of the bars to be evaluated, and I never practiced criminal law in my life. I'd probably never been to 26th Street in my life, but fortunately for me, they didn't hold it against me. But I've seen it happen. I used to sit on the Judicial Evaluation Committee. I've seen it happen to others. They come in and they've got one area of experience, might be criminal practice or whatever it is, and the people go, well, what about this and what about that? You don't have any background or experience. But I personally believe that I would do what I like doing. And if I don't like the area of criminal law, don't want to practice in that area, I'm going to focus my attention in the area that I'm more comfortable in and that I think I can do a good job in. So I would just advise all young lawyers, mainly again, join a bar association, have a mentor, make sure you connect with someone who can mentor you, and then determine what area of the law you want to practice in and try to be the best at it that you can. If you want to be a judge, that's a whole nother story. And I don't think I'm going to even try to address that right now.
Judge Buford, thank you for these authentic, really realistic comments. And I must say that I have seen you in practice. I've had an opportunity to briefly practice with you when you were in the law firm, and I just observe your excellence. So I want to say, Your Honor, thank you. Thank you for taking time from your schedule today and presiding over these really important juvenile matters. Just giving us a candid conversation about bar involvement and sharing your insights on legacy and leadership and inclusivity. And so respectfully, do you have some more comments?
I have one. I forgot.
You can take two, yes.
First off, in the area of juvenile justice, can I just say I am so thrilled with my assignment. I'd never been in that building in my life, except for a meeting one time. I knew nothing about juvenile practice, absolutely nothing. I'm asked to be sent to that division, and people told me, no, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Why don't you want to do what you do now? Do some civil defense litigation, sit in the law division, do this, do that. No, I wanted to try it. It was something different, and I absolutely love it. And if they allow me, I want to stay there for my entire career. I feel like I'm doing something important. I'm helping children. I'm guiding children. It's just a wonderful assignment. I'd also like to thank the CBA. I'd like to thank you as well as the CBA for conceiving of this idea and bringing it to fruition. This is wonderful. Years from now, young lawyers will be able to go in the archives and look up my interview and anybody else's interview. And I hope that that I've been helpful to them. I'm sure the other people that you're interviewing are extremely helpful. And I thank you.
Well, thank you. And thank you for mentioning your specific area that you're managing in the court. I'm glad you went in that direction because in the city of Chicago, we have a lot of issues with our juveniles. And we want to thank you for what you're doing on the bench to preside over these really, really challenging issues because at the end of the day, they are someone's children. And so thank you. Thank you for that. And so then what I will do now is just say respectfully on behalf of the CBA, the D.I.C.E Committee, and I just want to note on the record here, this was spearheaded by attorney Mina Fain and Justice Michael Hyman, who kind of put this all together and conceptually had the idea. And we thank you on behalf of the current and future members. And this concludes our interview.
Thank you.